Welcome to part 26 of my Chrono Trigger playthrough. In today's attempt, we will be hitting Death's Peak and getting Chrono back. This is one of the more difficult areas of the game. And I try a couple of different teams going up. Now the first thing you want to do is talk to this doll. The second thing you want to do is go get this blue sparkly thing, which is a strength capsule. Now I guess there's a way you can time it to get that capsule without the tree. But since I'm just collecting them up, to save for later for the other playthroughs, getting it now is just fine. There's a lot of good items scattered around the mountain. And unfortunately, unless you have those gemstones, or whatever they're calling them now, you don't have any triple techs. Nothing hidden back there. And like I said, Flare's a very good replacement for Luminar. There's a nice little save point here. And what we want to do is go up through that cave. And make sure you save at that save point before going into this cave, because it's your first battle with a lava spawn. Now what you want to do when you're fighting a lava spawn, besides being fully healed before you come into this battle, is focus your attacks on the little yellow thing. And don't use group attacks. if you use a group attack, the shell will counterattack with those spinny things. And the biggest reason I fought with these two is at this point, Meryl doesn't have a hill with them. And unfortunately, the dual techs he has at this time with Lucia are group attacks. Now her flame kick is probably the best attack to use. And you definitely want to keep healed up. Now we got triple kick. And when we get Chrono back at the end of this episode, we will get a few triple techs open up from that. Kept coming back here because kept thinking that maybe there was a ladder here and a hidden item, but there isn't. A new weapon for Frog. Her hit points were low, so I used Dino Tail. And see, it did almost 2,000 points of damage to those things. And what looked like a tab was the switch to this area. Unfortunately, I healed. And forgot to get her an an ether for magic. And since Ella took some damage, I used Dino Tail. Really, we just need enough magic points to use Flare a couple of times to get to the save point. Or we could heal fully before going up Death's Peak any further. And now Frog has all of his techniques. That Frog Flare is actually a pretty neat dual tech. I just didn't use it at this point. Mainly because I forgot I had it, and secondly, he just didn't have the MP for it until after we heal. And we got our first sickle weapon for Magnus. There's also one in his time period, ancient time, that we could buy. Almost 3 grand in damage. That isn't bad. After this, we'll have one more of these to face. And she's still asleep on her feet. That's a glitch I don't remember seeing when I played this on the SNES. Now this dog just gives the warning about sliding off and having to restart. And I switched in Meryl, mainly to get her finished dual tech with the triple kick. I have no idea what that weapon is. I'll be honest with you. They changed the names. And this is telling us about this final lava spawn up here, and what we have to do to move on. And it's always a struggle to move his shell. Actually didn't need Blaze Kick. There's nothing back in there, but I had to check. See how it bounces around just by going near it? And I think it triggers off all of them, but not just the front ones sometimes. But eventually I get him to the point where he can finish climbing up. And now we use the chrono trigger. Now we'll cry about chrono a little bit. And watch her go a little nuts. I honestly think this is a separate timeline. Because playing around over the years, I faced them with many a person, and it's always the same 3 people. And always in the same position. And now we have chrono back. And from this point on, we can beat the game any way we want to. Because all that's left are all the little side quests that are linked to one of your party members. And honestly, you don't even need the right party member in your party to take care of them. Now he'll tell you every mini quest that you can do, and up until you face Lavas. And we'll be dealing with that in future episodes. But for now, we'll finish out these episodes. in the main story. And we're still not strong enough for Spico. And didn't even get the triple tech for it. I mean, look at that. 2 hits and we're wiped. Okay, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.